up, everyone? It is Stephanie here, and I am bringing you episode 5 of Infernal TV. I know, right? We already have 5 episodes. That's so cool, right? Well, this episode is really special because it's all dedicated to folk metal band Ensiferum. Ensiferum was formed in 1995. They released their first album, the self-titled Ensiferum, in 2001. Following the release of their first album, they released 2 of their most iconic albums, Iron and Victory Songs. Since then, Ensiferum has conquered the folk metal world globally, releasing multiple albums, playing European festivals, and touring all over the world. And now this year, Ensiferum is releasing their newest album, 2 Paths. And then you can go online and check out their first single, For Those About to Fight Metal. Check out this interview that I did with Ensiferum's bassist and vocalist, Sami Hinkka. And in the interview, we discussed 2 Paths, the writing of the album, and how they try to improve with each album, and maybe some little secrets behind the production. Hey everybody, this is Stephanie here with Infernal TV, and I'm here right now with Sami of Ensiferum. So how are you?
I'm doing just fantastic, and how are you?
I'm doing fantastic as well. Thank you for asking. All right, well, let's just talk about your new album. 2 Paths will be released on September 15th, so we have a little over a month. Is there anything in particular that you want to mention before we get into the questions, like anything that you're anticipating, or maybe a hopeful reaction from the fans?
Well, there's the first single out already, and it's called For Those About to Fight for Metal. It has to be the most cheesiest song we ever made.
I like it, though.
Well, thank you, yeah. So, in case you haven't heard that, go check it out. But yeah, there's going to be a video out and some other singles, so before the album is actually out. So if you like it, go and buy it, support metal.
Well, I'm glad that you actually mentioned For Those About to Fight Metal, because I think it's, like, compared to some of the other material that you've done, I think it's a lot faster and a lot... Did I say fastier? It's a lot faster. Well, the single is a lot faster and heavier, or in my opinion, than some of your previous material. So do you agree, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think overall on this album, I would say the sound is a bit more heavier. For some reason, I think I got dropped out from some email chain or something because I didn't know that it would be the first single of the album. You know, Metal Blade asked us what songs we want to release as like singles before the album is out, and that was definitely one of those. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't think it would be the first one. I thought the video song would be the first one. But but the reaction has been amazing, really positive. Yeah, like I said, it's quite cheesy song, and the whole story. If we have time, I might tell you a short story of the whole song.
You can go right ahead.
The melody, the main melody in my mind for quite some time, and I thought, this is gonna be a really heroic thing. I kind of heard in my head already that with the choirs and everything, this would be really. This has to be like a tribute to all our fans around the world. This song has to be that one. And after one rehearsals, I was sitting in rehearsal room, just playing guitar on that melody also, and I was reading news at the same time from the computer, and there was a headline that the singer from AC/DC had to step down because of the hearing problems. And I was like, oh fuck, really? Because it's been a really important band for me when I was a kid, especially. And I also know it's a really important band from Markus and some other members also in the band. Anyway, for some weird reason, I have this melody and AC/DC, and how would this melody sound if I would play like shamelessly in Thunderstruck style? And yeah, it sounded really cool. And I sent the demo for others, and I explained, we have to do some kind of tribute to this band. They made amazing career, because at that point, I thought they were gonna quit. I really didn't see it coming that they're gonna finish the tour with Axl Rose. Anyway, everybody liked the idea, and then the song proceeded quite fastly actually, and a few weeks later, I already had like almost all the lyrics ready. I was still missing kind of the song title and some lines from the chorus, obviously, and. Again, same scenario. I'm sitting in the rehearsal room after rehearsals and, fooling around with guitar and reading news and ta-da, another headline that Manowar quits. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Another band that has really influenced on Ensiferum. And then I, stopped for a while, like, tribute to our fans, AC/DC and Manowar. This can't go wrong. So that's where the song started.
That is a very interesting story. I would never think that the song that you wrote, or this song in particular, would be the potential or the demise of, two legendary bands. But, I definitely think that you wrote a very good song dedicated to both legends.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's a quite weird combination, but
hey, it worked. Hey, you pulled it off, I think. All right, well, and let's just go ahead and discuss, because when I was reading the press release, it looks like that you're releasing 2 different versions of a couple of different songs. So, how did, or can you describe, I guess, a little bit more specifically about how you went into that direction, and then maybe overall, just why did you decide to release 2 different releases for some of your songs?
The only difference in those alternative versions is the vocals. There are 2 versions with harsh vocals, and the other versions are with clean vocals. Marcos is singing the other one, a song called "Don't You Say," and I am singing "God Is Dead," and alternative versions, Pete is doing the harsh vocals. The whole idea... Well, anyway, in Ensiferum, we always had harsh vocals, clean male vocals, and choirs, and ever since the second album, Iron, there's been female vocals also. So it's always really interesting and to arrange the vocals, because there's so many things we can do. And after we recorded the clean vocal versions of those 2 songs, we told Pete, hey, dude, you should try this. And it sounded so fucking awesome that we decided, okay, we have to release these. And and that was it. It wasn't
interesting.
It wasn't intentional. It wasn't something that we kind of calculated, this is something we're gonna do, but this is something that just felt good. And and I think it's really cool that, if you prefer more like the harsh vocal, then you can listen to those versions. And I really think the coolest thing is that now nobody knows which version we're gonna play every night.
Oh, look at that. You're gonna be sneaky, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, perfect. Well, let's just talk more about your orchestral, because I know that this topic has been coming up a lot in this interview so far, and I definitely, I know that you've always had more orchestration in your song, but I definitely experience it a lot more now, or at least from what I've heard. So, do you agree? Do you feel like you went, they use a lot more or orchestral influences, or what do you think?
We always listen to what the song needs. Like, there are songs on the album that there's no orchestration at all. I think it's almost 50-50 actually. But I think on this album you can hear them better because we cut down the tracks again, even more. We've been doing that since From Afar album, which was released 2009. Since then we've been really intentionally cutting down the amount of tracks all the time, and on One Man Army, and especially on Two Paths, we want it to sound as much as possible so that the band is just the band rocking, and there's not any unnecessary tracks, filling it too much, and so the music breathes and you can hear all the details, and that's it. It's so easy to get carried away in the studio, especially if you just use computer. But on this album, on Two Paths, we record all drums, basses, rhythm guitars, and harsh vocals on tape, analog way.
Oh wow!
And and then we ran out of tracks. Then we had to record the rest of the stuff to computer, and then they were synced and everything was mixed to tape again. And let's see, the next album, actually, we've been talking about this with Ansi already, that Ansi Hinkka, who recorded and produced One Man Army and Two Paths, that he's trying to find a second machine, so he would have 48 tracks. And yeah, that would be more than enough for us now. So we could do actually the next album fully analog.
Wow, and well, actually that was going to be one of my questions, is talking about Ansi. So, I mean, do you feel like you work with him because he kind of like understands your musical direction, and you know, maybe this is also like a vision for him, or do you just work really well with him, or is there another reason?
Pretty much everything you said. And
oh, perfect.
the collaboration with him is just so natural, and he's so creative person, and as a recorder producer he's really strict, but also really supportive, and he has amazing working moral. Like, I think the average day was again like 13 hours per day.
Wow.
And well, he's never in a bad mood, he never complains, and he really, even though he kicks your ass, but he does it in a really supportive way. And actually, I would say the biggest difference about Two Paths compared to anything we have ever done, the idea actually came from Ansi, that on this album we would focus, well, obviously the analog thing would create a lot of dynamics and more dynamics on the album, but also we focus much more the feeling of each song and each take, instead of trying to play well, so it would be technically perfect. We focus much more on the different perspective of music, and I really like the result, because there were a couple of times when guys were recording guitar, for example, and they recorded the whole song, and I said, yeah, that was flawless, like technique-wise, but it had no soul. So please just you know, turn off your brain. Don't think that you're in a studio. Just close your eyes and let the music take you, and just imagine yourself on stage of a massive festival and have fun. And this kind of mentality, instead of like the typical studio attitude that okay, yeah, every note has to be exactly perfect, and you end up like many bands edit everything, and you can like edit even every single note from different takes if you really want to go really freaky about this. But this was like totally opposite. We recorded the whole song all the time, and like drums and bass, there was not much edit at all. Well, drums, I don't think there was anything. And we played the whole band at the same time when we recorded drums to get as natural groove as possible, so it actually sounds like the band is playing together.
Yeah.
And some of the bass lines were actually from the same take as the drums were recorded, so
oh, wow.
It was like really old school, like drum and bass recorded at the same time.
That is amazing.
I think 3 songs at least on the album. Yeah, so this was like going back to the roots. You know, that was anyway the way how things was recorded when we were kids, and you know, recording demos with our old bands, and so it felt really good.
Interesting. And now, from what I read, that Two Paths will be available in a variety of formats. And from when you were describing recording an analog, do you think that the final result will sound different, say, on vinyl than it would on MP3? Or
absolutely. I have to say, I was the most skeptical person in the whole band about this, the vinyl digital music comparison. But honestly, did this for us because he's totally freaked out to vinyls and that kind of stuff now. But we went to his living room, and he made like A/B test. Like, he put the same song from Spotify and from vinyl. You know, same stereo, same volume, same setup. But he just, with the push of a button, he changed the source of the music.
Wow.
And the difference was ridiculous. You know, it didn't matter if you listened to old Metallica or Michael Jackson or Madonna or whatever. the sound difference was incredible. And the thing is, you really can't explain this, because it would be same as trying to explain a color to someone, because you really have to hear the difference. But I was the most skeptical one, and I was left speechless when after we were listening to some Black Sabbath like this, first on Spotify, and in the middle of the song, Ansi changed to vinyl, and it felt like the Ozzy was singing in the kitchen when we were listening to MP3, and when he put the vinyl, it felt like the Ozzy came to the same room. The presence of the vocals is there. I think that's the biggest difference of vinyl and digital music.
Yeah, I most definitely agree.
Yeah, but I don't want to sound like a old fart who has who wants to cling on the 70s. I love technology and I love how things go forward. But this is something that it was really eye-opening or ear-opening experience, and I'm really happy that there's going to be a vinyl also of Two Paths, and yeah.
All right, all that's very, very interesting. Now let's go into the artwork by Gyula. I know that, and he's done, your previous material as well, and I think the artwork for Two Paths is absolutely gorgeous. So, I mean, is that just the general reason why you've been working with him, or you worked with him again, is because he produces really good quality work that fits in with the band really well, or is there another reason?
Well, of course, that's the main reason that he's an excellent artist. But the equal important thing is that it's super nice and easy to work with him, because we all. He did also One Man Army cover, and it was same thing on that album cover and this one. We sent first like our ideas to him, and I sent some lines from the lyrics so he could kind of get the mood of the album, and then he replies, he sends his own ideas, and it's really cool to work with someone who's really enthusiastic about what you're doing, and that's pretty much the reason why I really like to work with him. It's super easy, and the result is fantastic. And anyway, I really like to be involved in the process, even though, of course, that guy is a professional in digital painting. So I would never interfere stuff that he does on certain level, but all the details and all the ideas. He really accepts everything that we tell him or ask him to do, and then he usually kind of makes it even better, the original idea, and he comes up with his own ideas to really enhance the picture. So I really recommend this guy to everyone.
Wow, yeah.
We've been really lucky with it. Well, I think that's also really important for bands, that everybody always realize that you also, you of course you have to do good music, but also you have to surround yourself with the professionals, like great people, and that's we are really lucky. Like all our crew who we tour with, they're our family members, and same goes with management, all the label, and session musicians. Gyula, the cover artist. There's so many people involved in this whole circus. We could never pull it off just by ourselves.
Right, definitely. I'm glad you made that point, because it is really important to be surrounded by, people in the industry who really do want to work with you rather than work against you or work selfishly. So I'm definitely glad that you made that point, and that you're, discussing the directions, like of Ansi, and like how he opened you up to new ideas, and also when we were talking about Gyula and, how he's great to work with, he's very talented, professional, so, no, all of that's definitely, I think that's something that any of your fans will want to hear, that you have such a great support team, just so they know this when they, listen to your music and go to your shows and everything.
Exactly. There's also the, maybe it's some. Well, we tend to thank our crew, for example, after every show. So not just because we have to, but we really appreciate what they do, and it's because they don't get that much credit for the job, so they really get it from us. And same goes with well, I like Metal Blade. I'm super happy how everything works, and I really love the feeling that everybody who's involved with anything that the Ensiferum does. I really love that people are enthusiastic about that, at least as much as as the band is. So it really gives more drive to the band also, because you have great people, professional people in your corner, so to say.
All right, awesome. Well, then let's go into some of the touring that you have. I know that, for the Europe tour, I read that it's separated into 2 parts. Now, I know the 2017 dates are already announced, but I didn't see any announcements for the dates next year, unless I looked over them or couldn't find them. But do you think that you'll be going to some of the same, countries and cities next year in Europe, or do you think it'll be different?
That's a really good question. Anyway, next year we're gonna do a long tour in North America and also Europe. But this year, it's only gonna be like 6 shows in Central Europe, and then we're gonna do something we've never done before. We're gonna do like 10 shows in Finland. That's really weird for us. Because, nobody likes us in Finland. So.
Well, I'm sure you have plenty of fans in Finland.
And there's gonna be South America and some Russia and Asia. So this is like, usually when bands, European bands release an album, they usually do like European tour and North American tour. Mm-hmm. But now we're doing actually almost everything else first, and then we're gonna do North America and European tour, and then it's already summer festival season, and then it's already autumn of 2018, and I really hope actually then we could hit the studio and record like raw demos of the new songs, because we're already working with the next album. And anyway, 2018, the end of it, we really hope there's a really big plan. I really hope it will work out. Can't reveal anything yet, sorry.
Oh, secrets.
I really hope it works, because that would be a big thing.
All right, awesome. Well, it's already looking to be a very busy year for you next year.
I'm sure it will. And that's just the next year. I know 2019 will be at least as busy. So.
Oh, cool.
But cannot complain, because that's the circle of life in the music business. Release an album and tour as much as you can, and that's what we love to do. Play live.
All right, awesome. And now, I mean, Ensiferum, you're all legends in folk metal, and, well, I'm going to actually word this question a little differently than what I planned, or, no, I'll word it the same way, for each one of your albums, because it does seem like you do write from the heart, but it also does seem like you try to go into new directions, and that you try to experiment new ideas. So, I mean, do you, like, when you approach, like, whether it's 2 paths or whatever secret plans that you have for the future, are you approaching your material just, like, with whatever works for the song, or whatever whatever you're feeling for the song, or do you implement like some of the new ideas, like when you're talking about Anzi with recording analog, or what do you think?
I would say nothing is kind of intentional. We don't think that, okay, on the next album we need to have this or that kind of songs. We just keep composing stuff that we love and what we would love to play live, and that just ends up being the next album. I think it's only natural that there's kind of new twists on every album, because life goes forward and there's no point to keep repeating yourself album after album. So, and we're human beings, everybody, there's things happening in everybody's life. Of course that affects the music that we create, and also everybody gets influences all around the world, and what happens again, whatever happens in your life. So I think the new angles in our music, they just happen really naturally. Nothing is like. I think the most important thing when you're composing, you have to listen to the song, and I would say the song kind of tells you in which direction it wants to go, so to say. And you just have to be honest to yourself, yeah, and not try to please anyone except yourself. I know it's a cliche, but it's also true.
Hey, it's true. I was going to say it is true as well. All right, perfect. Well, here's the last question. Do you have anything else to say, regarding Two Paths, regarding the tours, and what else you have planned next year?
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think I said everything I need to say.
All right. Well, perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Just like Sami said, Ensiferum has a lot of amazing things going on. Two Paths will be released on September 15th. If you're in Europe, and Central Europe, I should say specifically, in 2017, definitely come out to an Ensiferum show. And no matter where you are in the world in 2018, it's more than likely that Ensiferum will be coming to your town. So definitely see them. And according to Sami, they have some kind of big secret plan being released next year or the year after. So hopefully we'll figure out what that is.
Let's see. I really hope it works out.
Alright, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 5 of Infernal TV. And I hope that we do 5 more episodes, and then 5 more, and then 5 more, and then we'll get to 500 episodes. Wouldn't that be cool, right? Alright, so just like Sami said in the interview, Ensiferum is coming out with Two Paths on September 15th. And obviously a lot of it's kind of a secret right now, but it does seem like there's a lot going on next year. But for right now, if you are in Europe, then definitely check out Ensiferum because they are going on tour. And I will put their website and all their social media links in the description of this video, just so you always know what Ensiferum is up to. And as well as following Ensiferum, be sure to follow Infernal TV, subscribe to the YouTube channel just so you can keep tabs on all of our episodes, all of our interviews, and all of our other features. Check out infernalonline.com and follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of the links will be on the description of this video. Thank you for watching episode 5. And stay metal, everyone.